Hi, I'm Jennifer Volman. I'm here with Coach Marilyn Chakota,
Hi.
and we're going to talk about planning your season and how to pace your year out. So the question I think that I really want to ask is, because the season now is so long, it's really an all-around racing season. What's the best way to approach your season? How should you plan out your races to make sure that you're playing in a way where you're successful at each of your races and not just getting burnt out?
Yeah, back in the day, you'd hate to say that when you're a little bit older, but, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out there that remember this. It used to be that there was a very clear race season. Ironmans, started with maybe Ironman New Zealand, and then they went to Hawaii, and everybody knew that, and they geared their season towards that. There was very clearly an off season, and then there was a building preseason preparation time, and then everyone got into the race season. And now, if let's say you're a long distance athlete who's focused on the Ironman events, of course, there's the other events with ITU and short course racing and all the other brands challenge and all of that. But let's say you're focused on Ironman and you're looking at that calendar, and now we can see that there's races all year long. You can really race all year. And I do think, for some athletes, there's a couple different approaches. You could say, well, I'm just going to do a repeatable week over and over again. And when I feel like it works with my life and I do get some good fitness coming around and I do, see a race that's on my radar, maybe I ramp it up for a small block of time and then I go race and then I come home and recover from that and repeat that. So that's one approach that you see happen, fairly often now with the ability to race year round. I do think it's important for most amateur athletes with families and busy lives and that to have these periods of time where they don't have a race season going on and they have some downtime and they have that you're going to ask for a lot of support from your team, your family, your work, your friends, that kind of stuff. And so you want to make sure that there's a dedicated period of time where you aren't maybe training as many hours, and you're able to spread the love a little bit, as well as planning it around your environment. So if you're in the dead of winter somewhere and it's winter and snow and you're not able to get out and really build a huge amount of outdoor fitness, perhaps a early season Ironman is not the way to go. Now here in Arizona, we might not necessarily look at racing in July and August because it's so hot here through the summer. We're not able to build a whole lot of fitness. I mean, you can work out a lot, but it's so hot, you're not really getting that fit in the heat. And so you might prefer to plan an early season Ironman coming out of our winter. So I really think looking at your demographics, say, okay, where do I live and how is that going to work best where I live? How does it work within my work, my family, my support and all of that? Make sure that there's some breaks there. I also think, if you're looking in terms of professional athletes, if you're wanting to be, at your best form at the World Championships or a certain race where you are saying, I'm going there to win the race, that is going to require a lot of energy and a huge amount of preparation. And having some planning that builds into that is going to be really important so that you're showing up there fit and race fit, and you've got some races under your belt that allowed you to build fitness along the way, but not to a point where maybe you've missed that mark and you're a little bit flat from racing too much, or you've got to be able to really be on your A game. And if you've mentally and physically used that up because you've raced 2 years straight year round, maybe there's some better planning that you can do. So the key takeaways I would take away from that is, now that there's the ability to race year round, I would look at where does it work best in your life in terms of the weather where you live, so you can be in your best shape, your work and your family and how that works, and what your A race is. Say, this is my A race, this is where I really, really want to perform at my best, whether you're professional or amateur, and then work backwards from that and say, okay, here's maybe some C races, some B races, my A race, here's my pre-competition season where I'm going to get myself ready for those races, and here's my off season. So I think if you map it out like that, rather than just looking at this giant calendar and picking races all over the place and being entered in a race every single month, then like anything, if you plan and you plan backwards from your A date, you're going to set yourself up for the most success.
Thank you.